Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video, I want to update my Supreme Arena defenses for this week to give you some of the best defenses you can try because I've made some upgrades compared to the video I uploaded yesterday. I feel like overall these teams are going to be better, so I want to share them with you. So the first thing we're going to talk about is map number 2 because this map it is exactly the same as I said it in yesterday's video I uploaded, and I think this is really strong. Basically, the reason this defense is so good is it's making good use of Molly buff tiles. You have Shakir to buff up your grouped up allies. Coco is taking pretty good advantage of the buff tile to try and charge up her energy faster and cast her ultimate, which is really game changing for the fight. Verdant Spell is a great artifact here, providing good buffs on all of your different classes. The tanks for damage reduction, and your rogues get the penetration, and supports get haste. We have the damage reduction Festo in front of the Vala to make her even more difficult to kill, and we have the main Festo in front of Mikola to give her energy to cast her Curd Sphere more quickly. Basically, this entire team is going to be very difficult for the opponent to kill. You have the Molly buff tiles, so you're unaffected on the two backline allies. And even if the opponent puts a lot of damage on the left side, they're going to be attacking your illusion, which can just be respawned after he is dead. So overall, this is a really good team. I feel like this is one of the best teams I can come up with for map 2, and so I heavily recommend this team. However, if you don't have Fresto, or for example, if you have Lenya built, I would recommend Lenya instead of Vala, but Vala does really well. Honestly, she's a pretty big threat, especially on Molly buff tiles. It's difficult for the opponent to kill her. I do like Vala here a lot, but if you don't have Vala, or if you have Lenya built instead, definitely trying Lenya here instead of Vala is a good option. The other thing is basically if you don't have Fresto. If you don't have Fresto, I think you should still run a tank. I think Thorin would be a really good fit for this team. Right now I'm using Thorin in a different team that I set up, but Thorin would be great here, and I would have Thorin probably soul pacting Vala or Lenya if Lenya was your damage dealer, and then also like if Thorin was here, right, then he can tank the enemy team. Thorin is just really a good hero to run, and you should try to run him on one of your teams. So yeah, I'm really happy with this team. I think this is the team that you should definitely try to run, and I don't think there's any upgrades to this. Okay, now we're going to take a look at map number 1. Map number 1, okay, so what I was running before is I was trying to run Sonya to buff up Odie and Smokey. But I don't know, Sonya, I really want to make Sonya work. I want her to be so good. The problem is, it's really difficult for her to cast her ultimate. Like, it takes a while for her to charge up her energy. She's easily, like, killable during that time because she's not sharing any of the buffs. She doesn't have any damage reduction until she casts her ultimate. So, honestly, this is kind of the problem with Sonya. After casting her ultimate, it's insane what she provides for your team. Basically, permanent stat buffs onto both allies, even if anyone dies. And also, damage reduction by 40% onto all of your team. But the thing is, until you get your ultimate casted, she doesn't have any of that. And so that is a problem. And if she dies, then your allies lose the buffs on them. So I just feel like Sonya is not working so well. We need something else to make her work. Maybe her being on the Molly buff tile herself actually is probably one of the best options. But like then you're not going to be able to buff up two allies for this map. So I do like Smokey and Odie together. I think for a lot of people this is a free-to-play friendly team, and it is great. And Lily May I like to run in this team. I was running Lily May in the third team because it makes sense on the energy tiles to run Lily May. But honestly, the thing is, this team lacks damage if you're only running Odie as your carry. You need to have multiple damage dealer threats, and I think Lily May is a great other option for that. And then finally, definitely you could run a hero like Iron. I think Iron would be a great pick for a hero here if, for example, you want to run Thorin in team number 2. However, for me, because I'm running, I have Thorin free, I'm going to use Thorin here, and then I'm going to have the Brutus as well. And the Brutus is going to tank out for me as well because we have to complete the Maulers. I think Brutus would be good here, but if you want to use Brutus on a different team, you could use Entendre here. Basically, any other tank would be a good option for this team. So yeah, Thorin, you can use Iron instead of Thorin, but you need to run the 3 Maulers, and I think you should run Lily May as well. Okay, but overall, this is a good team, and I wanted to try to make use of the Thorin. The interesting thing is I'm not using Scarlett at all in my updated defense. So team number 3. So here's the thing, right? What do you want to go for? And honestly, Molly buff tiles is the best thing to go for the final team as well. Like, technically, I could maybe try to do a Hypogean Celestial team, but even then, it becomes kind of awkward, because I would have to run Scarlett. I have Scarletta free, I have Taylene, and then I would just have to run Rainier, right? because I'm using Fresto in team number 2. Now, if you wanted to switch things up and run Fresto here, Cele and Scarlita, I do think you could make a good Hypogean Celestial team. But for me, and I think for a lot of people, it will be difficult to run Hypogean Celestial, but Maulers are going to be still a pretty good option to run. And like out of the leftover Maulers we have, these are some 3 we have. And I think Lumont does really well on the buff tile, and Elsa does really well on the buff tile, giving her that protection so that she is not so in danger of dying. Because the main problem with Elsa is that she's easy to kill when she jumps into the enemy team. The Mauler buff tiles help you with that. And also, you're going to have 2 immediate ultimate casts. Elsa has a low energy requirement for her ultimate, so I thought Tide Call spell would be a great artifact because you're probably going to trigger it more than in other maps and with other teams. So I think this team with Tide Call spell on Tundra is great. And we're having Tailene up on the front tile, Tassi in the back, because I want Tassi to cast. And so if the opponent has a Lily May is going to interrupt my Tailene, who will cast first, and then my Tassi will be free to cast, and then later on, hopefully Tailene can cast her ultimate. So I think this is a great team using the Mauler buff tiles you can try. Definitely you can run other Mauler heroes here as well, but I think Lumont does really well and Elsa on the buff tiles. But like I mentioned, if you wanted to go for Hypogean Celestial team, we can just take an example of that. I still think if you have Tassi, you should be running Tassi and Tailene both on the energy tiles. But then for the other ones, like if you want to go for the Hypogean Celestial, like the thing is I only have Rainier right now. And so I would have to go for a team something like this, basically Rainier giving the attack charms to Tassi. I probably wouldn't get any position swap value because there's no way an opponent is going to position a hero here just to be free swapped and have them be debuffed. And then for the final hero on the dark tile, it can be a lot of things. I do like a thing like Damien because basically Scarlita and Damien, they're not going to be removed, so like basically they're not going to be killed. So you're going to keep getting the dark and light buff tiles activated. I think Damien works on the dark tile. But other than that, like, if you wanted to go for a different option, it would basically need to be a hero which is going to be difficult to kill. And so I don't have any more good options kind of left. I think I would probably honestly choose Damien because Damien does well with Tailene and Scarlita both because he can keep resurrecting himself. So you could go for a team like this, or if for example you wanted to use Fresto here and not the Rainier and you wanted to use something else on team number 2, then Fresto here would be even better. Something like this would be very strong. And yeah, I think this would be a really strong team that you can try to run. But either this one or Rainier, they can work, they can be fine. Honestly, actually, now looking at it, I'm a little bit tempted to actually try this team. Because it seems pretty good to me. It seems pretty good to me, but the thing is, Maulers are always good. And also the thing is, opponents, if they're going to run Tassi on the energy tile, and you have Maulers, you're going to have 2 heroes already going to be unaffected by the opponent, Tassi ultimate, and that is value for you. Because here, people can, but I guess Damien would not be affected, and Scully is up in the air. But yeah, I mean, kind of the problem with this team is that, like, Rainier is probably going to die pretty quickly. And yeah, if you were going to run this team, I don't know if I would run Tide Call for this one. I would think about maybe, you could still run it to be honest, because you're still going to get 2 immediate ultimate casts. Tailene can keep casting. So yeah, it wouldn't be a bad choice. But yeah, something like this could work, or you go for the Mauler oriented team. But those are basically my updated defenses. Like what I'm going to try for right now is going to be the Maulers. And Lumont is pretty good, but if you don't have Lumont built, again, you're going to have to use some other Mauler here. And if you just don't have enough Maulers left over, then you can go for like the Hypogean Celestial type team. But Tailene and Tassi probably should both be used in your team that you go for on team 3, and that was kind of my mistake because I wasn't using Tailene. I was trying to do only a Tassi team, and then I think it lacks the damage. So hopefully these teams will work out better for you guys. You can let me know if these do. You can still try the teams I recommended yesterday. However, I think overall these teams are more solid that we have now fielded. Basically not using Sonya anymore and using Lily May on team 1 and on team 3 having both Tailene and Tassi there. But you could try Hypogean Celestial here instead of Maulers. But anyway guys, let me know how these do for you. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now and thank you for watching.